Welcome back to another episode of Wolf Lodge. Kick the tires, let the fires, big dog, let's go!
Welcome to the next level. Wolf Lodge.
All right, just checking on the delivery status of the excavator tracks that were supposed to show up yesterday, but apparently got delivered this morning, late. Those tracks are sitting down in town at a buddy's house. I'm not gonna spend all day heading down there to go grab those tracks. So plan B starts with remembering back to episode 2 when I was talking about the pepper poles operation being based out of an office that rent was being paid on. The goal was to get that operation out of the office and stop paying rent, and to move the pepper poles operation up here. The point is, alongside the hiking pole operation, I also use that office as storage. Storage for stuff that I've accumulated over the years, things that I think would be beneficial to this property. And so when I moved out of that office a few days ago, all that miscellaneous stuff had to go somewhere. And well, I didn't want it going to my permanent residence. So when the tracks didn't show up yesterday, plan B involved loading all those miscellaneous things into a vehicle and trucking them up to the trailhead where they sit right now. And so today's plan is to bring all that stuff in. Just hundreds of pounds of miscellaneous stuff that will be beneficial to this operation up here. And since today's focus is going to be around hiking, what better time than now to talk about the most valued weapon in this whole operation, the hiking pack. So talking about this pack starts with a question from Taylor5287. He writes, I know you get this question a lot, but what pack do you use to hike this stuff in? So I got this pack probably about 6 or 7 years ago from a company called Stock. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. But man, this thing has been probably the most essential tool to this whole operation out here. So this is my basic setup for my travel days into the property. For example, yesterday, my travel day into the property, 62 pounds, I had my food and clothes, which fit nicely into this bag. And then it has these various components for strapping things to. Like yesterday, I also strapped a brand new dog bed to this pack to bring in for Ash. And boy, does he love that new bed. I think he likes it. And then when I get into the property and it's time for the real work to begin, the heavy stuff, all I have to do is zip the bag off, and now I have a frame for the real work, the hundreds of pounds of heavy, big stuff carried into the property. No affiliation with Stock, but man, this thing is an absolute tank out here. My only one criticism would have to be on the buckle. The original buckle was plastic, and well, that broke after a couple years. I bought this second buckle on Amazon, and even this thing really doesn't do the trick. It doesn't get tight enough. I wish the buckle was metal, but overall, I absolutely love this thing. And since today's focus is going to be on hiking, I want to talk about one more thing. But to do that, I'm going to switch over to the big boy, the XF400. I'll begin with a question from CMT905. And the question is, why don't you click your poles together before a hike for good luck anymore? Man, this question really hit hard for me. Only someone who's watched all of season 1 and really paid attention to the details would ask a question like this, so I really appreciate you, my friend. To answer that question, it's all about the cameras. So in season 1, my go-to choice for filming was a GoPro strapped to my chest. The GoPro strapped to my chest allowed my hands to be free, and therefore I could click the poles for good luck at the beginning of each hike. This year, season 2, my go-to choice for camera is the Osmo Pocket 3. And the reason why I love this thing so much is because it has this built-in gimbal on the head, allowing for really smooth shots. So the problem with the Osmo while hiking is there's no way to strap this thing to my chest. So if I want to say something during a hike, I have to hold the camera in one hand, put both hiking poles in the other. Because today is focused around hiking, I'm going to go back to the old GoPro strapped to my chest. Forgive me if the audio doesn't sound that great, but I'd really love to do that old tradition today. With all that being said, let's stop the talking and start the hiking. Kick the tires, let's buzz, big dog, let's go! So yesterday was Ash and I's travel day into the property. First pack, food, clothes in the dog bed, 62 pounds, 1 mile in. And then Ash and I did a second hike yesterday. That was the beginning of the miscellaneous stuff. That pack was 102 pounds, 2 miles hiked round trip. So my strategy for today is to just blow through these first few hikes and concentrate on the hiking, and then make my last hike of the day my lightest pack and really slow down and show you guys what this trail is all about. All right, made it to the trailhead. 20 minutes, empty weight. First pack of the day, gonna be scaffolding components. Yes, I do have a plan for these. Yeah, I know, bro. The weight's not terrible, but it's big. First pack of the day, big dog, let's go! All right, first hike down, 81 pounds. 1 hour and 17 minutes round trip. That included load up time. That hike was done fasted. I always like to do my warm up hike in the morning fasted. Now it's time to get some food, rehydrate, and reset my pack. Did I forget to say the mileage? 2 miles round trip. Let's go, big dog! Hike number 2. I'll do another pack of these scaffolding components. Three-digit pack, big dog, let's go! I think you know the hiking motto by now. Oh, not gonna lie, that one stung a little bit. The weight is one thing, but just long, big loads like that makes it so hard to navigate through the trees. But what are we at? Hour and 14 minutes. Shaved 3 minutes off since the first one. 101 pounds, another 2 miles round trip. Number 3, big dog, let's go! Made it to the trailhead. 21 minutes for an empty hike. 1 minute behind, which makes sense as the day goes on. My body's starting to break down a little bit. All right, this pack, last of the scaffolding, 2 rugs from the office. All right, on the back side here, got some more scaffolding components, and in that office was another shelf. Brought the shelf out here, another shelf for the tool shed. Oh, this one's gonna be brutal. Oh. Oh my God. I mean, it might be my first time seeing 300. Oh no. Do I go for it? I'll try. I at some point I might have to drop something. I'll give it a shot though. Oh, and it's starting to rain. Never a dull moment. I don't know about this one, big dog. Let's give it a shot. $134, heaviest pack of the summer. One hour, 49 minutes round trip. So on average, my first 2 hikes were about 1 hour and 15 minutes round trip. That third one, 1 hour 49 minutes. Could I have split 134 pounds into 2 67-pound packs? Yeah. Or was it worth it to save 34 minutes? It was worth it. Now I definitely have carried as heavy and even heavier packs than that. The wood burning stove for sure, if I had to guess, was probably 20, 30, maybe 40 pounds heavier than that pack today. Man, I wish I would have had a scale back then for that mission. I've also carried in an air compressor, which we've never talked about, which sits underneath the cabin. The air compressor is a engine, compressor, and 2 ballasts all in one unit. That thing was a nightmare. Probably heavier than the pack today. Then there was a very special pack a couple summers ago. One of my friends wanted to come up for the weekend, but she had sprained her ankle a couple weeks prior in softball. And so I told her, if you want to come up, I'll carry you in. And I carried her in the whole way. If I had to guess, $120, somewhere around there, $130. That was a good one. So I definitely have carried as heavy, if not heavier packs than that before. One thing I've learned over the years when I carry in extremely heavy packs is once I sit around for a couple minutes, my body starts to seize up. So my goal today was to do 4 hikes, and there's still stuff at that trailhead. No time to rest. Hike number 4, let's go! Kick the tires, let the fires, big dog. Last one. All right, last pack of the day. We'll start with the electric water pump. So this is just a backup pump in case the gas-powered one goes out when I'm filling my cisterns up in the springtime. Last of the scaffolding components, and last of the shelf. It was supposed to be a light one. Whatever. It's the last of the stuff. I ain't taking it off my back. Let's do this. Now I know I said in the beginning of the day that I was gonna make my last hike of the day, my lightest one, and really show you guys and explain the trail. I'm not gonna keep true to that first part, but I'll keep true to that second part. So this is the trailhead. Anytime I say trailhead, it's just the part where the trail meets the public road. So there's the public road right there, and here's the beginning of the trail. 3-digit packs, big dog, let's go! All right, coming up on gully number 1. So this trail has a series of these gullies. There's 6 of them total. And I kind of just use these gullies as landmarks and reference points to know where I'm at on the trail. So what's happening in the springtime as the snow is melting, water is getting channeled into these deep V's and carving out these formations in the mountainside, which I'm calling gullies. This is gully number 1. Go, big dog! Got this beautiful low bridge here. We're in between gullies number 1 and 2, and the trail passes by this really cool old mining camp. Coming up on gully number 2, and I really love gully number 2 because there's a year-round spring on it. Nothing I can really do with that spring. For one, it's not on my property. 2, it's lower in elevation than the property. I probably could use it in an emergency situation if I ever needed water. All right, coming up on gully number 3, and this is the deepest one, making it the trickiest one. You need to be on your A game if you're going to be carrying weight through gully number 3. That one's for the athletes. Gully number 4, not a whole lot going on in that gully. Probably the most boring one out of the 6. Crossing gully number 5. I like this one because it marks the halfway point. In between gullies 5 and 6, and I love this area because it's so steep. Really makes you concentrate on your footing over here. Got a sharp left-hand turn, which puts us on the west face of the mountain. Coming up on gully number 6, the last and final gully. And my favorite gully, 1, it's the most beautiful gully when the water's flowing in the springtime. And 2, it marks the home stretch. Let's go. Like I said, definitely the most beautiful gully, especially in the springtime when the water's flowing. Here's a couple shots from this past spring of that happening. Coming up on my favorite section of the trail, that's not a gully, this beautiful rock outcrop. Come around this corner here, and you start to get your first glimpses of the property up there. Not before one last final boss of a hill. I think the thing I love the most about this trail is the entire way you are hidden in the trees. You really can't see where you're at. And then as soon as you crest their property, it hits you like a freight train. Not only does the view take your breath away, but then you get your first glimpses of Wolf Lodge. No time to rest though. Mother Nature is putting on a show right now. Gotta get the drone up and going. Time to make some dinner.
Yeah, humans are the only mammal that can pick up a weight and carry it a long distance, and it absolutely shaped us into who we are. It allowed us to really conquer the globe because we could take tools into the unknown, right? We can cover these long distances on our two legs and our feet. Our hands are freed up to carry our tools, to carry whatever it might be, and it really turned us into who we are. Now the thing is when you look at running, plenty of people run, right? Like running and marathons, that is a popular activity. But how many people are just like carrying weight as a regular form of exercise? The answer was really not that many. So I'm thinking like, okay, who actually still maybe does this? And it turns out it's the military. So rucking is sort of the main activity of physical training in the military. It's just throwing weight in a backpack and going for a long walk. But I think the benefit of it is that you're getting cardio stimulus because you're covering ground, but you're also getting strength work because you've loaded your skeletal system, your muscular system, and that comes with a lot of benefits. You kind of got this 2-in-1. So it generally will burn more calories per mile than walking or running, and that is simply because you've added extra weight. And so there's this interesting study, and I'll caveat this by saying it was a very small study. I think it was only 12 people because they could only find 12 crazy enough people to do it. It was on backcountry hunters in Alaska. And so these guys carry these heavy packs out into the mountains for, a week or whatever, and they test them, and they ended up losing a significant amount of weight, but it was all from fat. They actually gained like a very minute amount of muscle. And that really shouldn't happen in the context of going out and losing weight, right? You're probably going to lose fat along with muscle. But with this, they ended up losing mostly fat. So I just think it's this amazing activity that we really wove out of our lives due to technology. Humans evolved to carry. People were carrying babies all the time, like every day in the past. We'd go hunt and we'd have to carry all the meat back to camp. We would carry food that we gathered, like gathering. We're hunters and gatherers. Gathering is literally walking around, finding some food, carrying it, finding more, carrying it back to camp. And then we got, cars, we got grocery carts, we got XYZ, we got furniture dollies that we don't carry as much. And I think we've lost a really important form of human movement and physical activity that we're literally born to do.
Oh, what a day, what a day. Excuse me, mister. Can I help you? All right, let's run some numbers on the day. First hike, 81.5. Second, 101.8. Third, the one that killed me, 134. And last, 103.1. I swear on my life, I did not plan this. 420.4. pounds carried today. For a total of 8 miles hiked. Yesterday's totals, 62 pounds first pack, 102.7 second pack, 164.7 yesterday, and a total of 3 miles hiked. All right, add the 2 days together for an episode grand total of 585.1 pounds and 11 miles hiked. Ow! I got to be coming up close on 3,000 pounds for the summer. Anyhow, that's going to be it for me this week. Now next week, I know I keep saying it, but I'm going to break ground on that greenhouse. The tracks I confirmed are sitting in town at a buddy's house. Next week, I'm going to bring those tracks up and finally hold true to my word and break ground on that greenhouse. I'll see you next week. Time to take a shower and get all this sweat off.